Dark were their tracks, the path very black.
Swift was its moving, faster than birds.
Yes,
It
that's it.
leaves dark tracks on white ground, meandering. This is an Old English riddle that we have in the Riddles of the Exeter Book, which is also linked here to one of Eltham's Latin riddles. So the... Oh, please be quiet for a second. The Latin riddle tradition, which the Old English tradition goes back to, of course he follows me around. Read. Literary aspirations. I've collected riddles for so long and written some wonderful mind modelers. I might put them all down in a book for posterity. Maybe when I retire to Exeter. Interesting remark here, given that what we know about Anglo-Saxon riddles, we know mainly from one source, which is the so-called Exeter Book, one of the four main codices of Old English times. So he is supposed to be our scribe of the Exeter Book. In terms of time frame, it doesn't really work. The Exeter Book is dated in the 10th century, and here we are in the 9th century. So it's a bit emerged, but what is true is that we did have a riddle tradition, a living riddle tradition in Anglo-Saxon times. We also have riddles in Old Norse tradition. So whether we talk about the speakers of Old English or the speakers of Old Norse, both have riddles. So we have riddles in the Exeter Book, we have them in Old Norse mythology, and they were usually performed. So basically posing a riddle that somebody answers it, and they were much later written down. Well, I'd say let's talk to the one here.
What are you doing here in the middle of nowhere?
A visitor for Chad the Bewilderer, the most radiant and rakish riddler. Do you have the wits to best me? There is cake in it if you do.
For cake, I will answer any mind tease you have for me.
My head is forged with the hammer, hurt with sharp tools, smoothed by files. I take in my mouth what is set before me.
Well, can you repeat it?
My head is forged with the hammer, hurt with sharp tools, smoothed by files. I take in my mouth what is set before me.
Typical of Old English tradition is the metaphors in riddles, as basically riddles still work that you don't describe the object at hand, but you describe it metaphorically. So you shift it basically from one realm of semantics to another one. What we have here is lock and key. So much for that. Before I answer that, I'm pretty sure it's lock and key, because in the Exeter Book there's also one riddle with a solution lock and key. It's a different riddle, riddle 44, following the numbering of Dobby and Crab, where the solution is suggested as key and lock, so basically folio 112 verso of the Exeter Book. It's a relatively short riddle, but a bit longer than what is posed here, so for the game, a bit too long. But here we have the same solution, lock and key.
Iron is forged with tools, and a keyhole could be the mouth of a door. A lock and key?
Wonderful! Your wit sparkles. But still, another one. I saw a strange thing, wonderful of shape, singing in a tavern. Its beak underneath stood upon splayed legs that cannot walk.
Also here we have a solution that we have of one riddle in the Exeter Book. Bagpipes. We do have multiple riddles about musical instruments. We also have this idea of beak and standing on legs as taken from a real riddle from the Exeter Book, however describing a harp. One of the riddles is supposed to be answered with bagpipes in the Exeter Book, also here following Dobby and Crab, riddle 31 on page 108 recto and verso. It has 24 lines, so for the sake of the game, it's too long. So of course what is posed here is a different riddle, but it uses metaphors that we truly have in Old English literature, just reshaping them and recombining them into a riddle with a solution that we also have in the Exeter Book. Bagpipes it is.
Sings. A musical instrument. The bladder that whines and wheezes through pipes. Bagpipes.
Very good. A tricky one that few but the sharpest needles can sew. Now, the final test. With my roof of tears, I am driven far and wide on my avenging path. When I shake the forest, I rumble the fruit from the trees.
When I shake the forest. And also here, following the guidelines of the Exeter Book, we have quite a few riddles about natural phenomena. Neither a giant is a natural phenomenon, nor a spurned lover, but a storm. And also here, we have altogether 3 riddles of the Exeter Book where the answer, or one of the supposed answers, is storm. It is riddles 1, 2, and 3. Following, and here I have to stress that again, Dobby and Crab, because in the Exeter Book none of the riddles have titles. So the numbering that you've heard by me, riddle 44 for the key and lock, riddle 31 for the bagpipes, and here riddles 1, 2, and 3, is what researchers gave to the riddles. The riddles themselves just follow one after another. They have no title, there is no space in between. And riddles 1 to 3 are thematically linked. Some researchers even say it is just one riddle, because all can be answered with storm. Just one riddle with 3 different sections, because riddle 2 and 3 begin with huilum, which means sometimes. So it could be linked to the first riddle. However, following Dobby and Crab, and you really have to stress whose numbering you follow, because even the numbers are not identical across the literature about the Exeter Book. It's riddles 1 to 3, the storm riddles, with storm as one of the potential solutions. Given this whole debate, and given that it's 3 riddles that are extremely long, also this wouldn't work for the game dialogue. But I don't want to have him wait
Rain
longer.
covers the earth like a roof, and the rumble of thunder and lightning can shake acorns from a branch. A storm.
You are brighter than the sky lantern. Your wit outshone my words, and such a feat deserves 3 cakes. But unfortunately, I do not have any.
Great.
So the cake was a lie?
Do not pout. Have a reward much more worthy of your talents.
Goodbye, Chad. Your riddles were a fun diversion.
Stay a while, read some more of my scribblings.
He lied about the cake. How could he?
I wonder, will we ever tire of such wordplay?
No, we
Will the
won't.
Riddles of England die with me?
No, they won't. We still know about these riddles, and riddles are still part of human life and contemporary literature. He referred to the sky lantern in one of his last sentences. The sky lantern is also a typical kenning, so a one-word metaphor of Old English literature, referring, of course, to the sun. So the interesting thing here is that despite none of the 3 riddles were taken from the Exeter Book, we have clear references, here's his house, to the Exeter Book, namely all the solutions that we have are also solutions that we have for the Exeter Book. And here in this snippet of text, he refers to retiring in Exeter, which also links to the Exeter Book. So we have a nice allusion to that here. Of course, it's no one-to-one correspondence, but a nice link. And riddles played a role in the lives of the Anglo-Saxons. We have also riddles in Norse mythology, especially linked to Loki here. So it was part of Germanic tradition. And so linking that here is historically valid. What do we have here? Faded paper. By day I was borne on wings through the air. By night I steal wits from the worthiest of scoundrels. I lose men's tongues and sweeten their songs until my hammer pounds on skulls. Well, I wish I could give an answer here. But also what is typical of Anglo-Saxon riddles, solutions were not given. This is why the answers for the riddles of the Exeter Book are also debated, and we have riddles with more than one possible answer, simply because this scribe or scribes didn't really bother writing down the answers of their riddles, so we basically have to think in the mindset of the Anglo-Saxons to make sense of these riddles. And similar to what you've heard here, these riddles deal with everyday objects, they deal with warfare, they deal with natural phenomena, the sun, the moon, they deal with animals, so everything that was part of the life of the common people. You also have a few riddles directed at the clergy, where then they are about, as the one with leaving dark tracks, about writing and scripture, which of course wasn't part of the common people's lives. Also that we have scribbles of text lying around. Bit unlikely, but part of the game's world to have better immersion here. Still, posing riddles. Does he have anything more in his house? Or even more text. Mindbender. Everyone plunders me, tears off my skin, rips my head from its roots, but no man I bite. Unless he bites me, then he will shed a tear. Everyone plunders me, tears off my skin, ripping head from root. And you cry when you bite it. I basically have it next to the riddle. I guess it might be. Is it one? Sounds pretty much like an onion, right? Which also wouldn't be surprising. There are also a few riddles in the Exeter Book where onion is one of the suggested solutions. One of the onion riddles is one of the more, let's say, ambiguous riddles. Of course, riddles are supposed to be ambiguous, but also a riddle where one of the solutions, it talks about rising and growing in its bed. So it has a slight sexual connotation as a suggested solution, which is even more interesting when we think about it was monks writing it down. It was the monks who were able to read and write. So our riddle here definitely is none from the clergy, but also this is game freedom. Because you can't have a monk running around here at this kind of runic stone. I know I'm going in circles. Which also is something that we didn't find in Anglo-Saxon England, but this is something that we would only have in Scandinavia. Do we have 50 iron? Well, great.